This is just your daily reminder that every man is a loser until proven otherwise. Have a great Monday.
When you look at these videos and then you see a whole bunch of videos from women saying guys aren't coming up to women anymore. I don't know what's happening. I'm hot and all my friends are hot and guys aren't coming up to us anymore. What is going on? Are you guys just not ballsy enough? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with them? They're seeing video after video after video of you calling them a loser on second one, man-hating, being obnoxious and entitled, being a total nag. Why would they come?
She says, why would I need to prove I'm not a loser to a loser? And that right there sums up the modern dating paradox. Everyone's convinced they're the prize, yet nobody seems to have earned it. The internet used to be about connection. Now it's an open stage where people casually broadcast their bitterness, their ego, and their insecurities, and they call it confidence. What's wild is that it's no longer... You ever notice how people with the least to offer tend to be the loudest online? Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. About self-improvement. It's about self-justification. People announce their arrogance like it's a badge of honor, not realizing it just exposes how fragile they actually are. When someone feels the need to call others losers just to feel valuable, that's projection 101. You can almost hear the insecurity hiding behind the sarcasm. The more someone insists they're above everyone else, the more it usually reveals how low they actually feel about themselves. But here's the truth. Online validation has replaced real-world accountability. You don't have to be anything anymore. You just have to sound confident enough to fool a few people scrolling by. And that's the problem. Modern delusion isn't silent anymore. It's trending. So when she says horrible people announce how horrible they are, she's right. She just doesn't realize she's doing the same thing.
Like accountability. There's a lot of women who you will sit down and ask her, like, hey, like in your last relationship, like what role did you play in it going wrong?
Right.
And she'll look you dead in the eyes and say nothing. I did what I was supposed to do. He cheated.
Yeah.
Or I did what I was supposed to do. He neglected me.
Yeah. That right there, what you said, a lot of women lack accountability. No. And I can say a lot of men lack accountability. How about we address the men lacking your emotional state?
I think what you're doing is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Because again, I never said that men don't lack accountability. When you said it, I nodded. Yep, you're right. A lot of men do. But just the mere mention of a woman having something to work on made you feel away. You tell a woman that she needs to work on something, or you tell a woman that she's doing something wrong, you automatically go into defense. Yeah, they may be wrong too, and we'll get to that. But right now, we on you. Don't spin it back in my moment of telling you what you need to.
She says women and accountability don't work well together. Women and entitlement work together 200%, period. And honestly, she's not wrong. That's one of the most uncomfortable truths in modern culture right now. Because here's the thing, accountability isn't glamorous. It doesn't get likes, validation, or attention. It forces you to look in the mirror and admit you might be the problem. But entitlement, that's easy. It's empowering without effort. You don't have to grow. You just have to demand. We live in a time where self-love often just means never being wrong, where admitting fault feels like betrayal to the sisterhood. You'll see women preach independence online, but the moment life gets tough, it's suddenly men's fault for not leading, providing, or protecting. So which is it? Do you want equality or convenience? That's the contradiction nobody wants to talk about. Accountability used to be a sign of maturity. Now, it's treated like an insult. The moment you hold someone to a standard, you're labeled controlling, judgmental, or even toxic. Meanwhile, entitlement keeps growing, powered by social media, soft life fantasies, and endless validation loops. And the irony? The same culture that shames men for not stepping up is raising women who refuse to look inward. At some point, someone has to say it. You can't demand kings while living like court jesters. Accountability isn't oppression, it's...
I went out with a couple friends and we were sitting outside watching a concert, and we were just talking about how men never approach women. And I get it, it's nerve-wracking, it's uncomfortable, it could be like severe rejection, all these things, but it's frustrating when it feels like women have to do all of the work. So there was a couple guys that were clearly looking at us, and we decided to do a little experiment. So one of my friends, she went to the bathroom, and on her way back, she decided to stand like 10 feet from them. She's not going to approach them, but she's going to stand 10 feet from them all alone. And you're talking outdoors, concert. And she is just, in fact, I forgot that she was doing this experiment. And
Like, I have done this before, and me and my girlfriends have done this before, where it's like, oh, look, there's an attractive guy, go stand close to him, or walk to the bathroom. When you walk into the bathroom, walk by him. But then I can admit, I be so awkward, y'all. I'm not even lying. Like, if I'm doing it, I'm staring down. I'm not making eye contact. My body language is off.
Stop it. Get some help.
So I feel like, to her point, I feel like sometimes we have to be aware of how awkward we can be too. Because, yeah, her friend is standing there, but what if her friend was standing there looking like a lost puppet? But let's continue.
the look on her face looked like she was lost. So I was like,
She says no. Standing in the vicinity of men isn't shooting your shot. Shooting your shot is shooting your shot. Men don't like indirect communication. Be direct and say what you want in no uncertain terms. And finally, someone said it. Because for too long, women have been calling subtle glances, short laughs, or vague Instagram stories effort. That's not shooting your shot. That's standing near the basketball court and hoping someone notices you're holding a ball. Here's what a lot of people don't get. Men aren't mind readers. Most of them spent years being told to approach, risk rejection, and prove interest. Meanwhile, some women think that simply existing in a man's proximity is enough for him to make the move. That's not attraction. That's entitlement disguised as effort. And what's worse, when men don't pick up on those signals, suddenly he's the problem. He's clueless, uninterested, or not a real man. No, he just didn't receive a message you never sent. The irony is, women say they want communication, honesty, and emotional maturity, but when it's time to show interest, they hide behind passive gestures and pride. Real confidence is being able to express what you want without games or ego. Men respect clarity. They respect women who are upfront, who can say, "Hey, I like you," not because it guarantees a yes, but because it shows authenticity in a culture obsessed with performance. Indirect communication might protect your pride, but it also costs you connection. And the truth is, no one's chasing uncertainty anymore.
she definitely looked approachable, almost looked like she needed help. And then she was just casually enjoying the music, even looks back at them. All the while, my other friend and I are watching, and these guys are like gawking at her, just nonstop staring at her. And she stands there for at least 10 minutes doing this dancing and within 10 feet. And not once did they approach her. Not once did they even attempt to. And she walks then by them and around to come back to us, and they are just gawking, staring at her as she walks back. So as we get up to leave for the night, we walk literally within 2 inches of them, right in front of them. And not one says a thing. Mind you, when she came back from the bathroom, she did get approached by 4 men that were like 65, because I feel like that the men of that age and genre, that they just know how to approach women. They just know, like.
He says the Me Too movement and threat of false accusations have ruined any chance to just walk up and talk to someone. Also, it doesn't help when you hear all over social media that men are not needed, nor men are monsters and creeps. The juice is not worth the squeeze. And honestly, a lot of men feel that. What used to be a simple introduction has now become a social risk. Men have gone from approach her respectfully to don't you dare make her uncomfortable. It's no wonder so many guys have just checked out. It's not that men hate women. It's that they've realized the environment is no longer safe for them to engage. One wrong look, one misunderstood comment, or one bad day, and suddenly you're labeled something you can't come back from. And in a culture that believes accusations over evidence, that's a career-ending risk. Add to that the constant social media narrative, men are trash. We don't need men. Men are the problem, and then somehow expect men to still chase, court, and pursue. The logic doesn't add up. You can't simultaneously demonize masculinity and then complain that men aren't showing up anymore. That's what he means when he says the juice isn't worth the squeeze. The emotional cost, the fear of being shamed, and the lack of appreciation have made the pursuit feel pointless because men aren't avoiding women out of bitterness. They're protecting themselves from a system that doesn't protect them back. And now we're left with two frustrated sides. Women asking, where have all the good men gone? And men quietly saying, we stopped trying. That's not misogyny. That's exhaustion.
It's gotten lost. And we were sitting there observing, and there was only one girl that was really talking to a few men, and every single time she was approaching them. So what is it? Like, what do women need to do to be approachable? We thought, okay, we're sitting in a group of 3, that can be intimidating. So she went out on her own, stood 10 feet, even did a little glance at them, was standing all alone, and still nothing. Like, what do women need to do to be a...
He says, many women don't want to speak to anyone. Many women complain about men bothering them when they are out. Now men aren't speaking, and suddenly it's a problem. There are more women than there are men. Not every woman will have a man. And that's the paradox of the modern dating scene. Women spent years saying, leave me alone, and men finally listened. Now that they've gone silent, it's being labeled as emotional neglect. The double standard couldn't be clearer. You can't create a culture that constantly tells men, don't approach me, don't stare, don't talk to me, and then turn around and ask, where are all the confident men? That's not empowerment, that's confusion. The truth is, many women wanted freedom from unwanted attention. But what they didn't realize is that genuine interest often disappears with it. Now we're living in the aftermath. Men hesitant to engage, women wondering why nobody's approaching, and both sides pretending they don't care. But silence isn't empowerment, it's isolation. And when he says not every woman will have a man, that's not an insult, that's math. There are statistically more single women than single men, and with modern standards higher than ever. A lot of women are unintentionally pricing themselves out of the very relationships they want. So now, the same women who once said, I don't need a man, are realizing that independence feels different when nobody's checking in, calling, or choosing them. Because you can't complain about men not pursuing while celebrating the culture that pushed them away. At some point, something's got to give. The silence isn't just men being distant, it's men finally setting boundaries.
I never approach women anymore.
Men don't approach women because they always turn us down. That's easy. I mean, I get turned down all the time. All the time.
But they're not really giving you a chance out there?
No, they're not giving me a chance. That's why I don't even approach. I mean, I say hi and be nice, but man, that's about it, and keep it moving.
Any advice you would give to the chicks out there?
At least hear the dude out. You know, if he say hi, you know, buy you a drink or something, at least hear him out instead of just saying no or saying that you have a boyfriend, because everybody know they lying.
Yeah. Single, yeah. How do you think they got that wall up between us?
Too many options. Dating apps, social media, gas station, library, gym, you name it.
He says men stay silent not because they don't care, but because the cost of speaking feels too high. Rejection, ridicule, or being seen as a threat. Women long for connection but hesitate to bridge the gap. In a world where fear outweighs faith in each other, loneliness wins. That line hits deep because it's true. Men didn't stop caring. They stopped feeling safe to care. When every gesture is misread, every word is judged, and every approach carries risk. Still, what most people don't realize is that men and women are both suffering from the same problem: fear. Fear of being judged, misunderstood, or dismissed. Women crave connection, but years of cultural tension have made vulnerability feel dangerous. Men crave purpose, but every attempt to show it feels like a trap. So both retreat into isolation, pretending they're fine when they're not. We've turned dating into a battlefield where everyone's armored up, defending themselves from heartbreak that hasn't even happened yet. The irony, the walls we build to protect our hearts are the same ones keeping love out. When he says loneliness wins, that's not just a statement, it's a warning. Because connection doesn't die from lack of interest, it dies from lack of trust. until both sides stop fighting to be right and start fighting to be real. We'll keep losing each other, not because love disappeared, but because fear replaced it.
And why guys would have a problem with a woman with a high body count, though?
I think it's insecurity. Do they really want to have a woman that is just a virgin? Because she's not going to be good and she's going to have no experience.
They don't need you to be good, though.
That's so boring. Isn't that
It's
boring?
not boring.
It's like you haven't been to it at all. That's why I like you. I think that's crazy. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
They don't find it unattractive that a woman would have inexperience because they feel like, you know, what's going to make that experience in the bedroom so powerful is not that she can bounce off the walls or knows all these tricks or knows all these sexual things and, look, she's doing something like out of a porno. And what's appealing is that she's really excited to be there for him. She's present. She's loyal. She's committed. And he doesn't need her to be an acrobat. He just needs her to be loyal.
From lack of interest, it dies from lack of trust. Until both sides stop fighting to be right and start fighting to be real. We'll keep losing each other, not because love disappeared, but because fear replaced it. Women looking for the same small percentage of high-value men. Meanwhile, millions of good men go completely unseen simply because they don't fit the fantasy. So, if the numbers are already stacked against you, why wait to be chosen? Why not choose? Men have been expected to take all the risk, rejection, humiliation, effort, cost, while women sit back and wait for the right one to notice. But times have changed. The gender ratio alone makes passivity a losing strategy. If modern women truly want the connection, leadership, and protection they talk about, it starts with taking initiative. You can't claim independence, empowerment, and equality, then refuse to make the first move. True empowerment isn't about expecting men to do everything. It's about knowing your worth and acting on it. And honestly, it's smart. Because as men continue to withdraw from the dating scene, the few who are left and willing have options. A lot of them waiting for the perfect man to notice you might not be a plan. It might be a slow road to disappointment. Approaching doesn't make you desperate. It makes you decisive. And in a world full of people playing games, decisiveness is rare and valuable. So maybe it's time to stop asking, where are all the good men? And start asking, why am I not walking up to one?
Fighters, so go do that job. Go learn a trade. Go do something.
Well, you said that that's all they're good for.
Yeah.
And what are you good for?
A lot of things.
Like?
I'm funny. I'm smart.
You haven't demonstrated that yet.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I'm a musician. I dance.
You dance?
The list goes on and on.
What a great quality. You can dance. What do you bring to the table, though?
What do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm attractive. I have talents.
I don't know if men are so useless that their only job is to be providing for you. It sounds like you're just a typified eater. Like, I don't know what you're really bringing to the table. You're just kind of consuming resources, right?
I mean, if you want to hear the answer that I could be domesticated and I can cook and clean and do all that, I can.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is what of value are you bringing to society?
By being me.
By being you. I'm enough.
I am enough.
Okay. He says, ladies, we never received validation, so we gave it away hoping you would make us feel valuable. You took advantage of that. Now we self-preserve, and you still can't admit your wrongs and change. We aren't risking our lives on hoping you're the one. We have the information now. It's up to you to change. That right there is the quiet truth most men will never say out loud. For years, men were taught to earn love through sacrifice, to prove their worth through pain, effort, and endurance. They gave validation, hoping to receive affection. They gave loyalty, hoping for peace. But over time, that generosity was mistaken for weakness. Modern men have watched what happens when they give everything. They get drained, disrespected, and dismissed. So now they're doing the one thing society never prepared women for. They're walking away, not in anger, but in awareness. Because men finally understand something crucial. Validation isn't love. And giving it to people who don't value it only teaches them to expect more while giving less. So yes, men are self-preserving, and that's not bitterness. That's healing. Meanwhile, many women still can't confront their role in this collapse. The pride, the blame shifting, the endless excuses, it's keeping them stuck. And when he says we have the information now, he's talking about that collective awakening. Men seeing the patterns, the manipulation, the games, the illusion is gone. Now, It's not about chasing. It's about choosing peace over chaos, logic over fantasy, truth over temporary validation. And if women truly want connection again, it won't come from blaming men for checking out. It'll come from accountability, softness, and the courage to rebuild trust, not demand it. Because for the first time in a long time, men aren't begging to be seen. They're fine being free.
Last time a man approached you at a bar and started talking to you. And I thought this was just me thing, but they were all like, no, it hasn't happened in, I can't even tell you how long, like before COVID. And I thought that was a me experience. I was like, okay, maybe I give off like a standoffish vibe. I don't know. I don't think so. But no, they all agreed. They're like, I can't tell you the last time a man tried to talk to me at a bar. A man tried to offer to buy me a drink. Do men still do that? Men, can you weigh in? And I don't even need the drink, but like the last time, and I'll go up and talk to guys, but like, can someone explain?
Ladies keep asking this, but when are you going to realize that there are consequences to your words and actions? It's because men would rather keep to themselves than to be called a creep, or at the very least be publicly embarrassed, or at worst be accused of something. A lot of women do not realize that because of social media, a lot of young men believe that women despise them. Between the 4B movement, the it's all men until no men, and picking the bear over the man, because of this, most of them assume that women
He says, the truth of the matter is, many have lost the desire to approach women in the West. Men don't have a problem approaching women when they travel to other countries. If we don't see value in the product, we're going to simply ignore it. That statement isn't bitterness, it's observation. What we're seeing is a quiet exodus. Men aren't swearing off women. They're simply walking away from environments that don't reward genuine effort. In the West, dating feels like a performance. Everything's transactional. Attention for validation, intimacy for status, affection for advantage. The energy is off. There's competition where there should be connection, and ego where there should be empathy. Men sense that, and they're done playing. When these same men travel abroad, something changes. The guard drops. Respect returns. Femininity isn't treated like weakness. It's embraced as balance. Women smile, make conversation, show interest, not because they're submissive, but because they still believe in reciprocity. And that's the key word missing in the West. Reciprocity. So when he says, if we don't see value in the product, we're going to ignore it, he's not objectifying anyone. He's talking about return on investment. Men are realizing that energy is currency, and they're done spending it where it's not appreciated. The truth is, women in the West overestimated their leverage and underestimated men's options. The world is wide open now, and men are realizing they don't have to chase validation in a culture that mocks them for trying. So no, they're not angry. They're just finished.
To go up to a girl, eye contact. If they're just looking at you, they want you to come up to them.
I'm
just
taking
like,
mental notes.
And this is my hand. I literally kept going like this. And we made eye contact, I swear to you, like maybe 8-9 times. So that was my hint, like come up to me, like I'm obviously think you're cute or something, right? Did not come up to me, and I was
So
like,
basically
all right,
read her
kinda
mind.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was
That's
saying.
a note.
I get back home, I wake up the next day, I get a DM. Hey, saw you at the Steve Madden event. You're really cute. I open it. It was the pink shirt guy. I was like, why didn't you come up to me? Like at the actual thing.
Guys are scared now.
He says women decide who they will give play to. So a man approaching is ultimately pointless. Sure, you could do the pursuit and hope things work out, but it's not worth it. And that's the harsh reality. Men have spent decades giving effort, attention, and energy in hopes of connection, only to find that the ultimate choice was never theirs to influence. Approaching isn't a guarantee. It's a gamble, and one many men are no longer willing to take. This isn't cynicism. It's self-preservation. Men are learning that emotional investment has a cost, and the return is too uncertain. When the rules are skewed and expectations are one-sided, stepping up is no longer brave. It's foolish. The takeaway, desire alone doesn't create opportunity. Connection requires mutual effort, and when they're choosing to invest where effort is appreciated, not wasted. And perhaps that's the lesson modern culture refuses to acknowledge. Attraction, respect, and value are reciprocal. You can't demand pursuit, enforce standards, or expect effort if the system you created discourages both. In the end, the chase only matters if both parties are willing to play. And right now, many men are simply done playing.
I heard a conversation last night. It was a group of 4 girls at dinner, and one girl was telling her friends about her new fling. She described it as a casual hookup type thing, but claimed he was super respectful, despite not wanting to commit. Her friend then asked why he was so scared to commit, and this was the moment that I had to physically restrain myself. Here's a shocker, girls. Men aren't scared of you. This guy's basically at an all-you-can-eat buffet, minus the fee. He has it made. If you want him to look at you as girlfriend material, start carrying yourself as that, because hookups won't make him love.
He says hookups won't make him love you. You're in the fling zone. It's like the friend zone for men. And boom, there it is. Modern dating logic 101. Casual encounters don't equal commitment. Yet so many people still act like if you put out, you somehow earn emotional security. Spoiler alert, you don't. The fling zone is real. It's the friend zone's little cousin, and it's just as unforgiving. Men will engage, enjoy, and then disappear, all without any promises. The energy, attention, and affection might feel like interest, but it's temporary. It's short-term validation packaged as potential. Here's the hard truth. Emotional investment can't be forced. Love isn't transactional. No amount of flings, texts, or subtle hints will make someone commit if the foundation isn't mutual. And women who think otherwise are often setting themselves up for frustration, confusion, and heartbreak. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. If you want connection, respect, or commitment, the approach has to match the goal. Casual energy attracts casual attention. Real effort attracts real connection. So before anyone steps into the fling zone expecting forever, remember it's temporary by design. And if you're chasing permanence there, you're chasing a mirage.